So you've probably heard of the word echo chamber. Is where you believe in a certain ideology and you further immerse yourself with media and other people who believe that. That really helps you with missing out on a lot of good things in life. But guess what? This SUV right here will break whatever echo chamber you put yourself into. What's going on, guys? Roy Robles here from Zigwheels.Ph, and today we'll be reviewing this bad boy right here, the Jetour T2. So right off the bat, the Jetour T2 features a lot of inspiration from popular off-roading and 4x4 and all-wheel drive SUVs. You got the square-looking profile right here. You got the Jetour badge right here. This Jetour badge actually lights up when you're parked. So if you're wondering if it tries to apply those aftermarket lighting implementations right there that looks really bright at night, it's not going to be an asshole on the road because this only lights up when you're parked. You got the square headlamps right here, you got these two projector headlamps inside as well, and goes with LED fog lamps right there at the bottom. You got two hooks right here at each end, and it's colored in a green. It's colored green, adding a little bit more contrast to the overall look of this wonderful looking flat gray color. You got some SUV bits and pieces here and there, like these hooks on the hood right there. You got 220 millimeters of ground clearance, which should be more than enough to get through any small flood or road imperfections. You got 20-inch alloy wheels, which pretty much matches the color of the bodywork right here, just in a deeper, darker gray shade. And again, more of those green or yellow bits and pieces right there. And what seems to look like bead locks, they're actually not bead locks. It's just there for the look. It may look good, but don't try bringing this off-roading or hardcore off-roading because these are city tires. But if you want to do so, you can always just upgrade it as you wish. You got this nice air vent looking trim right here on the side profile. It has 500 millimeters of weighting depth, so it might be right around here. Should be safe, no problems, as well as reflectors right here on top of the over fenders. You got a chunky looking step board, makes it easier to get in and out, as well as a functional roof rail on top with more of those red or green, however you see it, trims right there. Now check this out. Got the side cameras right here on the side mirrors. Let's get another camera, a sensor as well. Those sensors help out with weighting detection. So it tries to determine how high the floods are going to be. So it's going to help you whether you should go or not in any off-roading situation. Now again, the side profile here might look a little familiar because Jetour has made the conscious decision to make the T2 look inspired by a lot of off-roading SUVs. I think what's the only thing missing right here is the utility box. You got the ladder. I think you know what I'm trying to go for. So one of the more distinct features of the Jetour T2 is right here in the back. Notice the blacked out tail lamps here. They're LED tail lamps, by the way. They're flush against the bodywork, giving it a little more sleek off-roading and luxurious design. You got this squarish tire cover with your camera right here, and the T2 XWD. Trying to say X-wheel drive, but again, this is an all-wheel drive vehicle. You don't get to control where the power goes, whether to the front or the back. It just does it in real time and intelligently. Plus, you got these hinges right here on the door, but they don't really work as hinges. They're just there for the look. Again, a lot of people who buy SUVs are there for the look, not for the actual hardcore off-roading, and that's what the Jetour T2 is aiming the market at. You also have this electronic door right here. All you gotta do is press this button and it opens up in a swing type manner, giving access to all this space inside. I mean, even though this works so-called as an adventure SUV, you can still put a lot of space right here in the back. Plus, you got a really deep cubby hole right there for more of your things. One of the smartest things about the Jetour T2 here are these cup holders where you just open them up and then they hide all your things inside, as well as some hooks. So if you plan to go tailgating or tailgating parties, should be the perfect tool for that. Now again, the Jetour T2 features a lot of its styling, and admittedly, they are inspired by more popular SUVs, but at the same time, would you really rather buy say, an 6 or 8 million peso SUV when you can get this for more than half the price and still gain a lot of that comfortable driving? Well, that's up to you in the comment section down below. But let's take a look at the inside and see what's what. All right, so inside the Jetour T2, you get to experience this soft touch material unlike any other car in this same price point. You got soft touch materials right here, real red contact stitching right there on the dashboard, a shelf here, as well as this interesting pattern or design in the dash here. I mean, I'm not sure what this is for, what that's about, but you've got it right there. Plus, right here you've got this interestingly shaped steering wheel with a flat top and a flat bottom. But in my experience, what this does is that it helps you with keeping your hands on a 10 to 2 or 3 to 9 position while you're driving, which is ideal when you do so. But the thing that's really gonna jump right at you is this huge tablet like 15.6-inch touchscreen infotainment system that's actually a lot bigger than most laptops in the market right here, and you've got it in front of you. It has good resolution, good touch sensitivity. The downside is you get to control all the stuff about your car right here in the dashboard. Automatic brake hold on the dashboard, off-road dials and settings right on the dashboard. But most importantly, the air conditioning system, you get to control it on the dashboard as well. What it does is that when I'm in Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, I'm going to have to go outside, go exit the system, and then control the AC from there, which is quite detrimental for me, but I guess that's how current cars are nowadays. If I had to change this, I'd add some sort of swipe mechanism like this one just to control the AC. But it does have a swipe mechanism as such, but no AC controls right there. Now, even controlling your side mirrors, you'll have to do it right there on the screen as well. But it's fine. At least you have a nice screen to look at when you're controlling your stuff. Also, of note right here, you got a large pad here with a wireless charger. This charges way faster than even my cables could. If your phone supports it, it has 60-watt wireless charging, and you got 60 watts of charging right here in the back as well. Right here in the bottom, you can find some USB ports here and a 12-volt socket. Now, right here, you can see some sort of iconography. It kind of looks like JT. I'm assuming that means Jetour or somewhat or another, but I'm glad it's there. And you've got the center console with some grab handles too, mimicking a lot of off-roading SUVs in the market. Now, you do have a couple of buttons here as well. You got your rough road terrain button, your 360-degree camera system, as well as your AC on and off switch. I wish if you click on this AC button, some controls will show up right here, but instead it just turns it off and on like so. All right. You've got a dial here as well where you can go into X mode, where it can go ahead and intelligently change whatever drive mode you might be needing to. But if you want to do that manually, you've got a couple of drive modes here. You got normal, sport, snow, mud, rock, eco, and back to normal again. So you got to cycle through all those modes right there. There's no way for you to lock any differentials here. There's no way for you to choose where the power goes to. It does so automatically, and you can select it right here as well on the dial. Now, I like the speaker system here. You got a Sony system, and it is pretty nice. I mean, there are a couple of cars out there that have Sony branded or branded speakers, but this is the first time I actually found that it actually works really great inside, and a panoramic sunroof in the interior. Plus, you got this, the steering wheel is also adjustable for both reach and rake. And yes, overall, the interior, the front end of the Jetour T2 definitely gives you a more, well, it's definitely driver centric, but I wish it was even more intuitive than it is. It's nicely designed, sure, but I mean, it does take some getting used to if you want to own this vehicle. So right here in the back is where you actually realize and experience how spacious it really is inside the Jetour T2. I mean, it might be catered towards more activity-oriented owners, but I gotta admit the practicality, the space, and the sheer space of the Jetour T2 is you can't deny it. Really, you got a flat floor right here, which means you've got a lot of space for your feet. No matter how many you put in here, whether two or three, you got a center armrest right here where you can actually open this up for some cup holders, as well as a small place to put all your smaller items here in the middle as well. You got a shelf right here for smaller items and a 60-watt USB-C charger and a normal USB-A right there. Now, one thing that I do wish that this has, though, probably this could use some screens here in the back where we can actually just go ahead and enjoy ourselves. But the seats are fairly fine. They're they're nicely bolstered. At least they're not as flat as I thought they would be, although they do look flat. But at least you're supported whenever you're driving around town. And the one quirk that the Jetour T2 has, though, in each side of the passenger seat, you got some grab handles. But for the driver, it's not a grab handle. It's actually a sunglass holder. That's nifty. All right, so let's take this out for a spin and see what the Jetour T2 can offer us. Performance-wise, is it really a hardcore off-roading car, or is it more suited for the urban jungle? Let's show. All right, guys, so we're now behind the wheel of the Jetour T2. The Jetour T2 is certainly a car that I've been looking forward to reviewing and driving. Under the hood, you've got a 2-liter turbocharged gasoline engine. It makes around 250 horsepower and 390 newton meters of torque. That's a lot of torque, especially for an SUV such as this one. But you got to remember, you've got an all-wheel drive system as well. So all power goes to all 4 wheels. It's a real-time 4-wheel drive system. There's no way for you to manually customize what power or where to what wheel goes to. What wheel the power should go to. It's all automatic because you got 6 drive modes right here. You got eco, you got normal, you got sport, snow, mud, rock. Technically 7 because you also get X mode. X mode is it's best used for off-roading, cross country and all that, because it lets the computer decide what type of drive mode you would want to go to. The engine is mated to a 7-speed wet type dual clutch transmission, which, to be honest, is pretty smooth as long as you put it in eco mode. Now, in eco mode, it's very smooth, but as soon as you hit it to sport mode, like so, and you can start to hear a lot of noise, and then you can feel the power come down. And the sound, the engine note, the exhaust note definitely changes. The acceleration characteristics change as well. And I don't need that. I don't need all that power and torque. That's why I put it to, there you go, eco mode. That's where I want it to be. That's where it is. Anyway, this is one smooth ride. I just have to say that out loud. This is a very smooth ride indeed. Suspension wise, you got independent suspension all around, and because of that fact, using this as a daily is just fine. The suspension seems to be tuned a little bit more on the stiffer side, especially when you compare this to other SUVs, but I'm not complaining. Definitely not complaining of the of how it feels, because it still feels very pliant, very planted. There's some body roll, sure, like that, like so. There you go. There's some body roll indeed. A lot of body roll, to be honest. But when you're going off-roading, that's what you need. You need the body roll. You don't want to torture yourself too much from having a stiffer chassis. Might as well remove your suspension. Take your suspension out. That's why live shocks, that's why Fox shocks exist. They have a lot of travel. This one has a lot of travel for its suspension, but still stiff enough to use it for the daily. So that's fine. That's definitely nice. Steering is very light. You have electronic power steering here. So the electronic power steering is very aggressive, actually. Set it to normal or default standards, and you almost feel like it was nothing at all. That's why I set this as sport mode when it comes to the steering wheel. I think the best way to use those lighter steering inputs is with parking. See, I'm just steering like this, but I shouldn't be steering like it. With parking in tight spaces, or going off-roading and such, that's when you'd probably be using a lighter steering input. NVH levels are just so damn smooth inside here. Now, even though the Jetour T2 is built like a brick, literally, its dimensions, proportions, is boxy, you can barely hear anything from the outside. Wind noise is pretty much downplayed because of the sound deadening inside of the Jetour T2. Now there are motorcycles going around and all that, but you can barely hear any of them, truthfully, because of the sound deadening that I mentioned. Okay, so let's talk about fuel economy. I've been talking my ass off about having to use the Jetour T2 as a daily driver and an off-roader, but what use is a daily driver if you only get if you have abysmal fuel economy? Well, I'll be glad to report that the Jetour T2 has really good fuel economy. I was driving this in the city, well, primarily in the city throughout the entire week. I got 8 to 9 kilometers per liter in the city. I'll say it again, 8.9 kilometers per liter in the city. That's a lot of kilometers per liter on this car, on this heavy 4x4. I'm impressed. What sorcery was Jetour able to pull up just to get those figures? It probably has something to do with the eco mode and the 7-speed dual clutch transmission, because I've never really been able to drive in an SUV this big and this heavy with that power at 2-liter under the hood and get anything close to those fuel economy figures from any other car. This is just mind-blowing to me. I mean, it's not going to be as good as a hybrid or an electric, of course not, but having 8 to 9 kilometers per liter is pretty good. It's pretty good. And on the highway, it gets even better. It goes up to about 14 to 15 kilometers per liter on the highway, and that's something else. Safety features, you got a complete laundry list of safety features. Advanced driver assist systems, you might add. So you got adaptive cruise control, that's important. So adaptive cruise control, you got blind spot monitoring systems on each side, lane keep assist, lane tracing, lane departure warning. You even have a rear cross traffic alert, 360-degree camera, forward collision warning, emergency braking, all around parking sensors, or some people might call anti-camote feature. You definitely need that in the city. That 360-degree camera system just projects itself quite well into this huge 15.6-inch touchscreen infotainment system, and it is amazing because you can actually control each side of the camera. Definitely an off-roading feature right there that you can use for daily life. Pricing for the Jetour T2 starts at 2,498,000 pesos. So yes, just a hair under 2.5 million pesos. Now I know what you're thinking. That might be a little bit too high, especially when you're considering that this is a Chinese SUV, a Chinese car. You get the features of a flagship SUV. You got flagship specs, bro. Flagship specs. And what does that mean? It means that you get a certain level of refinement inside. You get a certain level of performance, but at the same time you can get it at a bargain basement discount. 2.5 million pesos. Good luck looking for an SUV or a truck at that price point, and then you're gonna have to set it up as well. Man, you're gonna be hard pressed to find anything that looks this good and performs this well, surprisingly well, in the market today without having to build it up. So there you have it, folks. That's our review of the Jetour T2. Now, at a hair below 2.5 million pesos, it might seem to be a lot higher in price when compared to its other compatriots in the new car segment. But to be honest, for those looking for the experience, those who want to drive something even more upscale and luxurious, that price is, to me at least, definitely a steal. But what do you think? Drop me a comment in the comment section down below. And while you're at it, subscribe to our channel and hit that notification icon so you wouldn't miss any of our videos. This is Roy Robles from Zigwheels.Ph. I'll see you guys next time.